Welcome to the 186th District Court. Court is in session. This is cause number 2021 CR 2244, State of Texas versus Edward Martin Flores. We're here today for a plea. We're conducting this hearing via video conference using the Zoom application. We're also using YouTube to live stream the proceedings to keep the hearing public. The time now is 11:07 a.m. on the 23rd day of June 2021. These proceedings are official. They're on the record, and they're being recorded by the official court reporter. Counsel and all present are instructed to act as though you were in court, and all are instructed not to record the proceedings. And if I could have the attorneys make appearances, starting with the state of Texas, please.
Chris Ramos for the state of Texas.
David McLean for Edward Martin Flores.
Sir, are you the same Edward Flores, charged by indictment with assault, bodily injury of a family member or household member, second offense? Is that you, sir?
Yes, sir.
Let me use a function of Zoom called share screen. I'm going to show you the indictment in the case. And are you familiar with this document?
Yes, sir.
Did you go over this with your attorney?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand it?
Yes, sir.
Counsel, do we waive reading of the indictment?
We waive it.
I'm going to get out of share screen. I'll note that there is a discovery acknowledgement that's been signed and dated by both sides. I'm doing the same, and I make it a part of the record. We can go back into share screen. I'm going to show you a document, Mr. Flores. It's called the defendant's consent to plea by video conference. I'll scroll down. There's an electronic signature that I'm using my cursor to circle around. Is this your signature, sir?
Yes, sir.
By signing this, you're telling me two things. One is that you understand normally we do pleas live in an open court, but that you are consenting to do this plea by video conference. Did you understand that when you signed this document?
Yes, sir.
Secondly, your electronic signature here, as well as all the other electronic signatures of yours in the plea packet in front of me today, you're telling me that those are valid as if you personally signed them. Did you understand that when you signed this document?
Yes, sir.
I approve the consent and I make it a part of the record. We're going to go back into share screen another time. This time I'm going to show you the court's admonishments. In this case, it's several pages, so let me scroll through. And are you familiar with this document?
Yes, sir.
Did you go over this with your attorney?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand it?
Yes, sir.
On the bottom of page 3 is electronic signature. Is this yours?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to get out of share screen. By signing the court's admonishments, you're telling me that you understand the court's admonishments and that you understand the rights that are contained within it. Is that true?
Yes, Your Honor.
And that you want to give up those rights. Is that true?
Yes, sir.
And the rights that you're giving up is you have the right to a trial by jury. You have a right to confront the witnesses against you. You also have the right to remain silent, which includes the right not to incriminate yourself and not plead today. Did you understand that before you sign this?
Yes, sir.
Signing this, you're also telling me you understand the consequences of a plea and the sentencing range for the offense, which is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand that before you sign this?
Yes, sir.
You've applied for deferred adjudication, sir, and there are risks and benefits associated with that. The benefits are as if it's granted, and you will not be found guilty of the offense, and instead you'll be placed on community supervision, which if you're successful at that, the case is dismissed. But if you're not successful, then you could be revoked. And if you are revoked, then you would be found guilty of the offense on that day, and you're subject to the full sentencing range I just announced. Did you understand that before you applied for deferred adjudication?
Yes, sir.
And do you still wish to apply?
Yes, sir.
I approve the waivers that are contained within the court's admonishments and make them a part of the record. If I hadn't said so earlier, I think I might have skipped it. There is an application for deferred adjudication or community supervision. And I'll make that a part of the record. All right, Mr. Flores, share screen at another time. This time I'm going to show you the plea bargain in the case. Again, I'll scroll through for you. Are you familiar with this document?
Yes, sir.
Did you go over this with your attorney?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand it?
Yes, sir, I did.
The electronic signature to the left, I'm using my cursor to circle around. There's another one to the right. I'm using my cursor to circle around. Are these your two signatures?
Yes, sir.
This document details for me your agreement with the state as far as punishment is concerned, and I'll let you know if I'm going to follow this prior to the entry of your plea. State's recommending deferred adjudication with a 4-year term, be a $1,200 fine. Taken in consideration for dismissal are 3 misdemeanor causes. Then there'll be an affirmative finding of family violence, and your signature to the left waives your appeal. outside of the agreement, but the recommendations are that you have no harmful or injurious contact with the complaining witness, no contact with the complaining witness in one of the misdemeanor cases, the burglary case.
I don't see Robert's client, David Fuente.
And I guess no, a little confused on this one, state, but I'll come back to it. There'll be a TAP evaluation and anger management course. State, first say no contact with the complainant mom, Elizabeth Christie, and then there's another one that says no contact with Elizabeth Christie. Is that the child or something like that, or mother-in-law?
No, sir, that's my mistake. It's another complainant on one of the cases we're dismissing. And let me see if I can get the name for that, Judge. I apologize.
That's okay.
Judge, if I can interject, I believe it is Jorge Quiroz. There should be no contact with. That's spelled Jorge, last name Quiroz, Quiroz.
All right. Well, Mr. Flores, with that one exception, it's outside of the agreement anyway, but is this your understanding of the plea bargain?
Yes, sir. I believe it was a 4-year cap.
That is correct, Judge. It should be a cap of 4.
I've got, we're going to recommend deferred, and it's going to be for 4 years.
Judge, the state has no problem if the court wants to go below 4 years or essentially what is a cap. I presume the court does have that ability to do that as well. So the
Yes.
state is open to whatever the court offers.
All right. Then, let me get out of share screen. Mr. McLean, when you said a cap, are you talking about a cap on the deferred adjudication time period? Is that what you're talking about?
Your Honor, the state had made an offer for a cap of 4 deferred adjudication. And so that was our understanding of what that plea bargain was going to be.
So
Yeah.
meaning I could put Mr. Flores on deferred adjudication anywhere from 2 to 4 years. Is that what you're saying?
That's my understanding, Judge.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Mr. Flores, is that your understanding of the agreement?
Yes, sir. That was it.
And then Mr. McLean, that's your understanding as well?
It is, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Flores, just so you know, I'm not bound by a plea bargain. I don't have to follow this. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
But if I do follow a plea bargain, then you lose your right to appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
And that's true unless I grant you permission to appeal or unless certain motions are filed and ruled upon. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Counsel, any such rulings in this case?
No, Your Honor.
If I do not follow the plea bargain, then I'll allow you to withdraw the plea and we will proceed to trials if this hearing never occurred. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
I'll note again, one of your signatures on the plea bargain waives your appeal. Are you a citizen of the United States, sir?
Yes, sir.
If not, then a plea of guilty or no contest to the offense would have serious adverse effects on your immigration status. And I'll note that you certified in the court's admonishments that you are an American citizen. Counsel, do you believe that your client has a factual and rational understanding of the charge pending against him?
I do, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's been able to assist you in the defense?
He has, Judge.
Do you believe he's mentally competent to waive rights and enter a plea here today?
I believe he is, Judge.
Sir, to the offenses listed on your indictment, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
Do you understand that you can still be found guilty under a no contest plea?
Yes, sir.
Other than the plea bargain, did anyone promise you anything in exchange for your plea today?
No, sir.
Anyone force you or coerce you to plead today?
No, sir.
After going over this case with your attorney, do you believe that pleading here today is in your best interest?
Yes, sir.
Does the state have anything to offer to support the plea?
State offers State's Exhibit 1 and its attachments.
Your Honor, I've reviewed that with my client. We have no objection.
It's admitted. I reviewed State's Exhibit 1 and attachments prior to getting on the record and find that it is sufficient to support the plea. Sir, I find that your plea was freely, intelligently, and voluntarily made, that there was sufficient evidence to support the plea and that you're mentally competent to enter into such a plea. Mr. McLean, do you want to proceed today to sentencing or do you want a pre-sentence investigation report?
Your Honor, we would ask the court to waive the pre-sentence investigation report and proceed today. We're prepared to make any argument.
Argue. All right.
Judge, my client.
Go ahead.
sorry?
Let me say the PSI is waived. And is there, before we do the argument, I always like just to make sure I ask the question. Is there any legal reason as to why your client cannot be sentenced today?
No, Your Honor.
All right, you can go ahead with argument.
Thank you, Judge. My client has been in jail for about 6 months now, and we have been trying to figure out how to resolve this case. I've had an opportunity to speak with the victim, and basically this was a family dispute that got out of hand. It was not super aggravated, but what we would ask the court to do is to take all those factors in consideration. My client is asking for a 2-year deferred. He is committed to try and put this behind him and try to take care of whatever the court requires him to do in a very timely manner, and so that he can try to successfully complete this deferred adjudication.
All right. Being no legal reason, in accordance with the agreement of the state, sir, I'm going to defer any finding of guilt at this time. I'm going to place you on community supervision for a period of 4 years, give you a $1,200 fine. Taken in consideration are 3 other causes. I'm going to read you the cause numbers, tell you the offenses. If you plead true to these, then I dismiss these cases. Do you understand the proceedings, sir?
Yes, sir.
In county cause number 638350, criminal trespass, how do you plead? True or not true?
True.
It's dismissed. County cause 646358, burglary of a vehicle. How do you plead? True or not true?
True.
It's dismissed. And then 653143, interfering with an emergency call. How do you plead? True or not true?
True.
It's dismissed as well. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. You'll have a TAP evaluation. You must follow the recommendations. I'll give you 150 community service hours and 30 days to verify employment. And how old are you, Mr. Flores?
28.
Okay. The reason I'm going to give you the 4 years on this one, sir, is I'm dismissing 3 other misdemeanor charges as well. So I just think it'd be a good idea to have you under some sort of supervision for the next few years. If you're very good, I can do and entertain what's called early termination, but you have to complete everything and not get in trouble. And then I can decide to terminate you before the 4 years. All right, sir, this is a plea bargain case. I filed the plea bargain, so you do not have the court's permission to appeal. You do not have the right to appeal. I'm also knowing you waived your appeal in the plea bargain agreement. I'm making a certification of this for the record. I'll provide a copy of the certification to your attorney to provide to you. We're almost concluding the hearing, Mr. Flores, and when we do not leave Zoom, because after we finish up, I'm going to put you in a breakout room with the court's liaison officer, Ms. Serrano, and she's going to go over your new conditions of community supervision. Is there anything else from either side in regards to the plea or to the sentencing?
Judge, I don't know if I misheard, but the agreement was for deferred adjudication, and I'm not too sure if you said community supervision.
4 years of community supervision, and I also neglected to go over the no contact orders. Hold on. There'll be no harmful or injurious contact with the complaining witness, Elizabeth Christie. There'll be no contact with Jorge Quiros and no contact with, well, that's the other guy who was listed. All right, and I forgot to also put in, I'm going to put in the anger management as well. There was one more no contact order I think I needed to put in. Let me just do it this way. There'll be no contact with any of the complaining witnesses on any of the 3 cases, the misdemeanor cases that I took in consideration for dismissal. Okay. All right, again, Mr. Flores, if you're good, I'll look at doing early termination, but don't leave after we finish up the hearing because I've got to have you meet with our liaison officer. All right, if there's nothing else from either side, then the matter is now concluded. We are in recess, and I'm turning